What if you could attend your own funeral? Hear what people really say about you when they think you're gone. That's exactly what I did. I staged my death, disappeared from everyone's life, and sat quietly at the back of the church, hidden in plain sight. What I saw broke me in ways I never expected. But the biggest shock was who didn't show up. And worse, who did. My name's Tyler, and I never felt like I truly existed, at least, not in the eyes of the people closest to me. I was the quiet one. The background character in my own story, the one who always showed up for others but never got the same in return. My mom passed away when I was 12. After that, Dad buried himself in work. He paid for food, clothes, school, but he didn't see me. My older brother, Jared, was the golden child. Captain of the football team, straight-A student, charm for days. Even at family dinners, the spotlight was always on him. I didn't mind at first. But over the years, the silence around me grew louder. Birthdays forgotten. Achievements ignored. Friends who only called when they needed something. One day, I asked myself a question I couldn't shake: if I died today, who would actually care? I didn't want to hurt anyone. I wasn't suicidal. But I needed to know. So I made a plan, dark, elaborate, and foolproof. I would vanish. Disappear completely. And then I'd watch my own funeral from the shadows. I thought it would bring me closure. I had no idea it would tear open every wound I'd ever buried. And the first person I saw at my funeral made my stomach drop. Planning a fake death isn't something you just do. It takes strategy, timing, and a disturbing amount of emotional detachment. I spent weeks deleting traces of myself, shutting down social media, canceling bills, rerouting mail. I even took out cash slowly, so no one would notice the money trail. The hardest part? Writing the goodbye notes. Not real ones, just vague enough to imply something happened. I'm sorry. I just can't do this anymore. No mention of death. But enough for people to fill in the blanks. Then came the scene itself. I left my car near a riverbank, door open, phone on the passenger seat, shoes on the sand. That's all people needed. Police found the car. They searched the water. No body. Just silence. Exactly what I wanted. Meanwhile, I had already rented a cabin 3 hours away, under a fake name. Disguised, untraceable. I watched the news online as the headlines rolled in: local man presumed dead after mysterious disappearance. The funeral was planned a week later. Closed casket, of course. They never found anything. I waited until the last possible second to arrive. Hoodie up. Sunglasses. Fake beard. I slipped into the back pew of the church, heart pounding. The moment I saw the crowd, my throat closed. Because it was way emptier than I thought it would be. Rows of empty chairs. That's the first thing I noticed. This wasn't some massive ceremony. It was small. Quiet. And honestly, kind of pathetic. My father was there. Stone-faced, staring straight ahead like he was at a board meeting. No tears. No emotion. Just obligation. My brother Jared was talking to people, shaking hands, telling stories about me like he was the one who knew me best. But the things he said? Lies. He always looked up to me. We were really close. I wanted to scream. We hadn't spoken in months. You never returned my texts. Then I saw my ex, Rachel, the woman who left me without explanation 2 years ago. She stood up to speak, and cried. Tears streaming, voice cracking. I never told him how much he meant to me. Oh, now you cry. Now that it's convenient. I scanned the room again. My so-called friends. Gone. The guys I helped move. The ones I loaned money to. The ones who said we were brothers for life. Nowhere. Just 3 coworkers. And even they looked like they were just waiting for the refreshments. I turned my head slightly and saw a woman in the corner. An older lady. Frail. She clutched a worn-out photo of me as a kid. It took me a second to recognize her. Miss Lorna. My old neighbor. She was the only one who ever brought soup when I was sick as a teen. The only one who actually cared. She sat there, whispering a prayer. And I lost it. Quietly. In the back. My eyes filled with tears I didn't even know were still in me. This funeral wasn't for me. It was for the idea of me. For the version of me people wanted to remember, not the one they ignored while I was alive. And then, someone walked in who shouldn't have known I was dead. The doors creaked open. And in walked Marcus. My old best friend. We hadn't spoken in years, not since a massive falling out over a girl. He had every reason to hate me. Every reason to never come back. But there he was. Disheveled. Out of breath. Like he'd run there. He sat down slowly in the back, just 3 rows ahead of me. Then, he turned his head. And looked right at me. Not past me. Not through me. At me. For a second, I froze. Did he recognize me? Was the disguise slipping? Then he mouthed something. Silently. I knew you weren't dead. My blood turned cold. After the funeral ended, he didn't leave with the others. He lingered near the door, waiting. I panicked. I slipped out the back, circled around the side alley, heart racing like thunder. But Marcus was faster. He found me near the parking lot. Tyler, he said softly. What the hell are you doing? I broke. I told him everything. How I felt invisible. How I needed to know who cared. He just stared at me, jaw clenched. You idiot, he said. You don't test love by disappearing. You show up, and let people love you in real time. I looked away. Shame creeping up my spine. Then he added something I'll never forget. If you wanted someone to care, you should have called me. I never stopped. He walked away after that. Left me there, in the dark, with tears streaming down my cheeks and a pit in my stomach. He was right. But by the time I realized that, it was already too late to go back. The fallout was worse than I imagined. When I finally came back, weeks later, I thought I could explain it all. That people would understand. That they'd see it as a grand, emotional experiment. They didn't. My father refused to speak to me. Jared called me a narcissist. Said I humiliated the family. Rachel, she blocked me. My coworkers. Awkward silence. Whispers behind my back. The only person who still spoke to me was Miss Lorna. She hugged me when I showed up at her door. You don't fake death to find love, she said gently. You live better. Brighter. Louder. I lost more than I gained. Trust. Respect. Connection. I learned that closure doesn't come from testing others. It comes from confronting the pain, and deciding to heal anyway. People didn't show up because they never knew I needed them. Because I never let them in. And when you finally do, it might already be too late. Looking back, I don't regret disappearing. I regret thinking I had to disappear to feel seen. We all crave validation. To feel missed. To matter. But the truth is, if you want to know who cares, you don't need a funeral. You need a conversation. I wish I had told Jared how invisible I felt. Maybe he would have listened. I wish I had asked Rachel why she left. Maybe I would have found peace. I wish I had reached out to Marcus, before pushing him away. This story isn't about faking death. It's about waking up. I see now that people can't love the version of you they've never met. You have to be present. Be messy. Be real. And yes, some people won't show up even when you scream. But the ones who do, they're worth living for. If you're feeling invisible right now, don't vanish. Speak. Let someone in. Because the person you're hoping will cry at your funeral might be the same one waiting for your call tonight. Have you ever felt invisible too? Drop your story in the comments, someone here will listen. And if this hit close to home, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's start talking, before it's too late.